I fucking told you. Didn't I? And I'm back. It was supposed to be last week, but life happens. I was hungover. But I'm back now, and I wanted to talk about something that I get asked all of the fucking time, and that is, how do I dress alternative on a budget? I got you. I've devised a very well written list of all of my tips and tricks and everything that I've devised over the last, 11, 12 perhaps years of me dressing like an imbecile. In this video it will mainly be UK oriented, so orientated? I don't know, either or, you know what I mean. So if you are from another country, living in another country, if you're an American, this might not be, some of the stores I might mention you've probably never heard of, or it might not feel that relevant to you, but the basis of the information will give you kind of the steps in which I take, so hopefully you can still get something from this. Something else I decided to add in this video is something I'm also asked quite a lot, and that is, where do I shop from? Where do I get all my clothes from? And these are not necessarily sort of on a budget or anything. They do some pretty good sales, but again, you can also get a lot of these pieces secondhand on some of the stores that I will talk about later on in the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. I will be much appreciative. And let's get into it. So whenever anyone asks me this question, I always immediately go for charity shops or thrift stores, if you will. Charity shops, they're great. It's very much a lucky dip, and I understand that, but I still consistently will find really, really cool bits and bobs from charity shops. I'm very thorough with it though. If you ever go to a charity shop with me, you'll realise that I literally go through every single thing that they have in there. You'll sometimes find some really nice shoes in there. I found some, like, they were like fake Doc Martens, but they were still really cool, some burgundy ones for like £6 in a charity shop in Carlisle. If you are on a budget, charity shops, I can't express this enough. Charity shops are amazing. My favourite tends to always be the British Heart Foundation, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if the emos just drop off all their old shit there or what, but I always find something in the British Heart Foundation. My next point, just to piggyback off of kind of secondhand stuff, would be, so like online secondhand shops. So you've got like Vinted, Depop, eBay, Facebook Marketplace is a good one, or there's also like Facebook selling pages and stuff. Now, I mentioned Vinted specifically because we're at a really good time with it at the moment, where it's not completely been corrupted by the Depop girlies yet, so you can sort of still get away with it. Search your favourite stores and things like that. I mean, it's relatively common knowledge, but if you're not sure which stores to look for, like I say, I will mention that at the end. So if you skip to here, you'll find some of my favourite shops, brands, all that kind of good stuff, so that should give you a little bit of an idea of what to kind of be looking for. Again, it depends entirely on your particular subgenre. I'm very baseline, alternative. I don't really have a label. I don't know. I just wear what I like. So if you like any of that, that'll work really well for you. However, if you are in a slightly different subgenre, you might find that it's not relevant to you, but you will find those things with time. Obviously, I've mentioned Depop because everyone knows Depop, pretty baseline again. I used to swear by Depop, and it's so sad to see the absolute atrocity it has turned into. I still mention it though because it's not all bad. There is still the odd thing on there. There's lots of innocent sort of sellers on there that are not going to try and charge you £100 for some George Astor Child's Peppa Pig t-shirt. So definitely still worth a shot. Another thing is as well, there's a lot of brands that have been cancelled that you might not want to give your money to personally. Depop is usually an alright place for that. Same with Vinted. Now, I mentioned eBay because I feel like eBay is completely overlooked these days, but it's actually still quite decent. If you're looking for things like New Rocks or specifically like Hell Bunny, like brands that have been around since, you know, or were in their prime, I guess, in kind of 90s, early 2000s, you might have more luck for these sorts of things on eBay. I always think like, who would be selling what I'm looking for, and then go that way. Does that make sense? You know, if you want some funky furniture or anything, I'd be like, Facebook Marketplace might be a good one for that. A lot of the band t-shirts that I have, I've got from eBay. So like Korn, Slipknot, like those, again, bands, again, that were probably in their prime in those kinds of days as well. So, you know, it's probably going to be like a tour t-shirt from 1999 in Alabama, but, you know, it's still probably a cool t-shirt, so go for it, it's fine. And the last point for kind of secondhand things is going to be Facebook Marketplace and Facebook selling pages. I still mention them because they can still be quite handy, but you will find a lot more scammers on there than you would kind of most places. You'll get the same on eBay as well. Be careful if, you know, you find a pair of new rocks that they're selling for 50 quid. Just be careful about how you're paying them and things. Some of these people ask you to pay them on friends and family only, on PayPal. Don't do it. It just means that you can't request your money back and cause a dispute and everything because you said that they're friends and family, which they're not. It might just be something that not a lot of people know, I don't know, but it's always something to keep in mind. However, they can still be okay. Facebook Marketplace I've had very little problem with. It's just you kind of need to look out. If you've got a weird feeling about something, just leave it. Facebook Marketplace, now this is mainly going to be furniture, but you will find the odd kind of like, again, eBay sort of vibe, old shirts or shoes or anything like that. Facebook selling pages, on the other hand, they're a little bit more tricky because in these selling pages you will usually find that people are just taking the piss. They will sell things for the most ridiculous prices, but every now and again you will find someone who's selling like a bundle of like, I don't know, t-shirts or something for like 20 quid. It's very kind of 0 to 100 sort of thing with these pages, but it's worth a look, it's worth seeing. You might hit gold with it, you never know. Now my next point is normie shops. This one is my absolute favourite. So we're thinking like Primark, New Look, H&M. It is the best. It's so good. These are usually a little bit on the cheaper side. Primark, I'd say more so. Or if you are looking for sales even, super good. What I have found in recent years is that anything that's more alternative will always be put on the sale in these normie shops because no one wants them, but we do. New Look was always a really good one back in the day. I don't know how good it is these days because I don't think I even have a New Look. Is it even open still? That's a good point. H&M and Primark definitely, I still shop there. But sale racks, everyone hates the Rita Ora stuff. I genuinely don't mind it at all. I found like a Rita Ora, like a full lace like dress thing. A cool bag with a buckle on it. Like, come on. But this also translates onto the online world as well. So we've got Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing. You will always find, especially when it comes up to Halloween, and I guess this sometimes goes for the like Primark and H&M and stuff as well, you will find the best stuff online, specifically Boohoo and Pretty Little Thing. If you look on their shop around Halloween time, there's stuff that you can just use for normal outfits. It'll be like sexy demon seductress and it's literally just a corset. Honestly, we're getting to like the perfect time now, so I'm going to be doing a lot of shopping these next few months. And of course, we all know the dreaded Shein. I don't care what you do. It is completely up to you. If you want to shop there, go ahead. If you don't, you don't have to. I am not in a place to tell you where you can and can't shop. I know a lot of people say, well, it's easier for me to dress how I want to with Shein because, you know, it's a lot cheaper. That's fine. Obviously the quality that you get isn't going to be great, and people do have like kind of a moral issue with it as well. Like I say, I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. If you have certain feelings towards Shein, don't shop there. If you have no problem doing that, shop there. That is always an option. Just putting it out there, don't cancel me. And my final point is DIY. DIY is always a really good thing, and this is something that I used to do all the time. There's so many YouTube tutorials readily available that talk about different methods that you can use, different things, bleaching and spray painting, and it's a lot of fun as well. A lot of the DIY pieces that I made when I was like 14, I still own and I still wear because they look so fucking cool. Even if you just get a plain old t-shirt from Georgia Asda, you know, you can make some really cool shit with it. And for the last section of this video, I wanted to just give a little shout out to my favourite brands, shops that I shop at. Now, like I say, this isn't going to necessarily be budget friendly, but these are the kind of stores that you can look for in like Vinted, Depop and eBay. You can look for in charity shops. You know, this is going to be the kind of stuff that you might want to look for if you want to dress anything like me. But again, it depends on your particular subgenre and how you like to dress. Some of these might not be relevant to you, but these are the ones that I shop at most commonly. A lot of these brands you will see that I have been affiliated with in the past, but I can promise you this is not sponsored, it's not an ad, not anything like that. These are just brands that I genuinely respect and I do actually shop from, so I'm giving you what you ask for. So first we have Disturbia. I have modeled for them a few times. But these are great. Love their stuff. They have some really cool like homeware, like blankets and things. So that's always one that I go for. This is the kind of stuff that they do. So yeah, definitely one of my favourites, definitely one of my main go-tos. My other one is Killstar. I freaking love Killstar. Killstar have been one of my favourites since I was about 12 maybe. Even when I very much first started kind of dressing this way, Killstar was always like the one brand that I always really wanted stuff from. Killstar have a really extensive kind of men's range as well. And from what I've heard, Killstar have some really good plus size stuff as well. A lot of my like fancy dress stuff is from Killstar. I really love their stuff. Next is Mary Wyatt. Now you will have seen in my previous lookbook video that I did, I mentioned Mary Wyatt a lot, and I'm actually wearing some Mary Wyatt right now. They are definitely on the little bit more expensive side, so if it's something that you're willing to save up for, I'd say definitely go for it. The quality is incredible. It cannot be matched. It is insane. Really love their stuff, and their designs are like so fucking sick, and I respect them as a brand. They're pretty swag. Now my next one for this one is Drop Dead. I have been buying from Drop Dead since I was honestly about 12. I remember my favourite Christmas ever was when I got a Drop Dead bomber jacket, and I think I got a t-shirt as well, but it was their 10-year anniversary, so I got a little book that had stickers in it, and I still have it over there. They are these days definitely on the much more expensive side, but if it is something that you're willing to save up for, you know, go for it. They've got some really cool pieces. My boyfriend has a lot of their stuff, and they're pretty cool. And you will find a lot of stuff on Vinted and Depop. Because of the nature of Drop Dead, you will find that some of them will be a bit more expensive if it's like an old thing that they don't do anymore. There's a bomber jacket that Steven has that they don't sell anymore, and you'll find it on Depop for like over 100 quid. So, you know, it's one of those. They do have their own Depop as well. So any kind of stuff that just, I don't know, was like old stock or anything like that, you will find on there. My next one is Minga London. I recently went to a little kind of pop-up shop thing that they had. They had like some DJ night. It was really cool. Really love them as a brand. Pretty decent quality. I buy from them probably the most, honestly, out of a lot of these. Minga, because I feel like they've come up in, I don't know, they're quite new, so you won't find a lot of stuff on Depop and Vinted, at least from what I've seen, but I might be searching completely wrong. But they do some alright sales, but again, more on the expensive side, so might be worth saving up for. And I think I've covered everything, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. Like I say, I know some of the stuff that I mentioned at the end is a little bit more on the expensive side, but you know, it's always worth mentioning. It's always worth having a look on these secondhand shops and even in charity shops and things to see if they have them. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you hopefully next week. If not, it'll be the week after that. Again, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff underneath my face. I love you. Mwah. Bye bye.